13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
Have that umbrella handy. You are going to need it this week. I'll have the details on our rainy pattern coming up.
A shooting in Athens leaves a former NASCAR driver dead. What authorities are saying as they still try to find a motive.
Plus, having your say in the November election means there's one thing you have to do today. What you need to know about voter registration.
As work continues along the I-16, I-75 interchange, you can expect more lane closures and traffic shifts starting as early as tonight. I'm going to tell you what to expect in just a few minutes.
Well, good Monday morning. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:31 a.m. on this October the 4th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck, and it looks like a beautiful morning so far, but as we've been saying, it's going to start to change this week.
That's right. Yeah, it is going to be quite the rainy week ahead. So as you're getting ready to head out and about, like these people are here in downtown, it's a little bit busier out there this morning in downtown Macon. You are going to want to grab the umbrella or the rain jacket. Quiet here, of course, in Macon, a little bit on the warm side, 69 degrees. You're looking live, forgot to mention, on top of Atrium Health Navicent. Temperatures area-wide, upper 60s and low 70s, 68 in Warner Robins. We're at 69 in Cochrane, 67 in Butler, 69 in Montezuma, 68 in Sandersville. In the warm spots this morning, Vidalia at 72 already this morning. It's been a while since we've been in the 70s, and that is indicative of our pattern change. We're pulling in more moisture. We have some more cloud cover out there. We're warmer. We're more muggy. We also have a couple of showers already to start the day in parts of Monroe and Upson counties. We had a little bit of rain in parts of Washington County. More rain just off to the west, and that will scoot its way into our forecast as we go through the day today. Temperatures will top out only in the upper 70s and low 80s. I'll time out all the rain. Of course, the fair just a few days away. I'll have the forecast for that. All the details. That's in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Courtney. Right now, the GBI is helping investigate after a man and Chris County deputy fired at each other on I-75.
The sheriff's office says deputies responded to a call of a man shooting at a car on the interstate. They say a deputy spotted the man they thought was the shooter and moved toward him when the man shot at the deputy. The deputy fired back, hitting the man. Medics airlifted him to a hospital. No one else got hurt. Well, today marks 2 years since a deadly wreck just outside of Robins Air Force Base. 3 men died when their car rammed a security barrier at the base. This is file video of Robins. Now, as of now, Air Force investigators have not released details on who the men were or why it happened. It happened around 9:30 p.m. October 4th, 2019.
The Air Force said the driver tried to speed past a gate, but base officers activated the security barrier and the car hit it going at a high rate of speed. Now, Friday, we gave you an update on what we know so far about the case, including where our records request stands and what an Air Force office says about releasing further details.
And you can read that full story right now on 13WMAZ.com.
Now to 3 headlines from across the state. We're following the first one's a sad story. Investigators are trying to figure out what led up to a double shooting that killed a former NASCAR driver. Athens Clark police responded to the shooting Saturday night in the 5 Points neighborhood. When they got there, they found 31-year-old John West Townley, who's from around the Athens Clark area, and a 30-year-old woman shot. Both went to the hospital. Townley later died. Police say the suspected shooter is accounted for, and it's believed everyone involved in the case knew each other. The Associated Press says Townley raced 8 seasons and made nearly 200 starts across the NASCAR, Xfinity, and Truck Series. He was also the son of Zaxby's co-founder, Tony Townley. 2 weeks from today, jury selection starts in the trial for 3 men accused in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael, along with William Roddy Bryan, face murder charges in Arbery's death. All 3 pleaded not guilty. We now know what kind of evidence will not be allowed in the trial. Last week, a Georgia judge ruled that Arbery's mental health records cannot be used as trial evidence. The decision further limits defense attorneys' efforts to portray Arbery as an aggressive young man with a troubled past when the case goes to trial. The 25-year-old was shot and killed in a Brunswick area neighborhood in February of 2020.
In other news this morning, the November election just 4 weeks from tomorrow. But if you're planning to vote, you will need to make sure you're registered today. It's the deadline. Election day this year falls on November 2nd. It mostly consists of local elections throughout the state. You can check on your voter registration status through the Georgia Secretary of State's office. Now, some of the biggest local races happening in central Georgia this year come from the International City. 4 seats are up for grabs in Warner Robins, including the mayor's seat and 3 city council posts. Right now on 13WMAZ.com, we have everything you need to know about the upcoming election in the city. Just search 2021 Warner Robins election guide and it will be the first story that pops up for you. There you'll find information about voter registration, early voting dates, and who is running for office.
Driving over to Eisenhower Parkway, lights, camera action. The county is moving one step closer to revitalizing the Macon Mall and building a new amphitheater. Mayor Lester Miller says the county plans to issue a request for qualifications early this week. They want to hear from architects and engineers on designs for the new amphitheater. Last month, Miller announced that they plan to build a 10,000-seat music amphitheater next to the mall, making it the state's second largest amphitheater. Miller says the county's plan for the Macon Mall includes adding new businesses, county office spaces for Central Georgia Technical College and Middle Georgia State University, and possibly workspace for the film industry. So far, they have not selected a contractor or drawn up plans for the amphitheater. Mayor Miller says the county plans to invest $100 million into the area by next year. He says tax dollars will not fund any of the work. Instead, businesses and partners reinvesting profits will. One Central Georgia church found a new way to get creative during the pandemic.
Mount Zion Baptist Church in Macon started drive-up services last month. The pastor, Paul Little, says it will continue through at least November. Little says they wanted to step outside the box. He says the opportunity even allowed them to grow. Hundreds
of people attend the church drive-up worship service. I've seen it on Facebook. It's awesome. And some travel from as far as Milledgeville.
I think we all really want to be back in the church, but in the meantime, our pastor has done a phenomenal job of reminding us that church is not a place, and that as long as we are all celebrating and worshiping God, it doesn't matter where we are.
That is true, and you can find the church on Avondale Mill Road in Macon.
Anyone is welcome to come to the drive-up services. Well, the time is now 6:37 a.m. and I think that one thing that the pandemic certainly taught us when it came down to church is that you can have church any place you want to. It could be in your closet, your living room, it could be in the drive-through, as long as you're praising God and you're doing it in a safe way. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. And people got so creative with so many things.
Right. Pandemic. And I think it made it easier for a lot of people to go to church, I mean, I feel like sometimes people could be even a little anxious going to new spots, and that made it easy to maybe watch your home church from home. That's what I was able to do. It was great. All right, everybody. So, of course, switching gears to the fair, which obviously was impacted by the pandemic. Well, this year it is back, and I know we're all very, very excited for it, if us included here on the morning show. 3 days away. Unfortunately, we are going into quite the rainy pattern, so it is going to be a little bit of a rainy start to the fair that they're already setting up. Take a look at this view on top of the Fairgrounds and Agri Center. But good news is we should start to dry out just in time for the first full weekend, when I'm sure a lot of you are probably starting to plan to go anyway. A beautiful view here. Love to see these sights after a year off from the fair. Temperatures as you head out the door in the upper 60s and low 70s. We're at 68 right now in the city of Perry. We're going to take you out to satellite and radar because this is what's going to be and carry our biggest change as we go through the next few days. Mainly quiet right now, just a couple of showers it looks like in parts of Jasper and Putnam County. We had a few showers in parts of Upson and Monroe. A little bit more rain off to our west, starting to push over the Alabama and Georgia lines. It's all out ahead of a very large weather system that's going to ever so slowly travel across the southeast as we head through the next few days. This surface low, what this is going to do, because of the way it rotates counterclockwise, is going to pull in a lot of Gulf moisture as we go through the next few days. So do expect the potential for some heavier downpours. But as you head out, like I said, we're mainly quiet, but we are pretty warm, especially compared to some of our mornings that we've had recently. We're all in the upper 60s and low 70s. Let's take you through that rain. So for the morning, you should be good to go. You shouldn't run into much rain other than maybe just an isolated light shower, but that will change as we go through the day today. So notice by 3 o'clock, the time a lot of people will be headed home from work and school, could start to experience some of those heavier downpours. On and off rain, that's going to be the story just about for the next 3 to 4 days. So be sure that you're packing the umbrella with you and driving very carefully, especially for the ride home from work today. And notice as we head through the overnight, we could have another heavier batch of rain roll through the area. A few thunderstorms possible. Yes, any severe weather, we're not expecting that, thankfully. Now, could we have some minor flooding? We'll watch out for that. When it comes to the rivers, I don't think that's going to be a huge issue for us. It looks like over the next few days, days while we're going to stay very rainy. Best coverage of rain for tomorrow. Clearly, you don't want to leave the house without your rain gear tomorrow. We are going to start to dry out by the weekend. So before we can have too much water to really fill our rivers, it looks like our rivers should cap out below minor flood stage right now, but we'll keep an eye on them. I think the GFS is being a little aggressive. Our rainfall totals should look like this: 1 to 2 with maybe about isolated higher amounts, upwards of 3 to 4 inches of rain. So again, some localized flooding possible. We'll keep an eye on the rivers, but right now we're not totally concerned about that. Good news is, though, we are going to start to dry out in time for the weekend with only a 10% chance for rain on the way for Saturday and Sunday.